y'all really want me to finish this book. You really? You want me to finish this book? I'll be honest with you. Most of it's been done for a while now. Most of it, as in, definitely needs some editing. Last couple chapters, most of it's been done. But I couldn't. After some events that have taken place, I have not been able to release that material because when I look at it, when I've tried to, and I've gone back to it a couple times to try and make it presentable, pre-edit. When I've tried to change the material to fit something more presentable, it's been it's not been right. Some of it's come from a dark place. Now, if you read Volume 1, that was an angry book. It's an angry book. I could have toned that down a little bit, but it needed that fire. How the fans felt, how we felt, how disgusted we were at why our modern myths have been disrespected. And it was all because of crazy extremist political and social ideology, far left. People that call you racist or sexist, label you, have the most infantile defenses for any argument. Because there is none. Really, there is none. Far left, whatever you want to call it. That position is divisive, segregationist, racist, sexist, horrible, anything. They make up stuff. They make up genders. They'll make up anything to piss people off with their stupidity and keep us divided, to use the fears and inspire hatred to divide us so that the people at the top, because a lot of them, and I mean the wealthy ones, the wealthy people that talk this garbage, they don't care about none of that. They just care about virtue signaling and looking good to their friends in their whatever entertainment or political or social community they're in. Some people are involved with this far left rhetoric just simply to make money. Like Black Lives Matter. Supposed to be about black communities. The chick that was running it, one of the chicks that was running it, she's a freaking communist. Got like a bunch of $1 million homes. What? The ridiculousness involved with the lies that are told. And to this day, it's still a thing. We're still in this culture war. Which is why a lot of Fandom Menace channels eventually became more political. Including me. Last week's video was very energetic, and it wasn't just the stupidity of drinking coffee and energy drink in the same morning. It was like popping a cork on some feelings, the fire and passion within me that I have not been able to really reignite in the way that it should have been over, most of this year. Same reasons why I haven't been able to finish this book. And I apologize to those of you who are waiting. I was working on it last night. So last week, was a lot of energy, and I apologize to you guys for I'm not, this isn't I should probably make it a a Spider-Man video or some other entertainment video and bitching about whatever. But that's not what this is. It's more of a sit down. It's more of a sit down conversation. Because the guy has a question. I'm doing it. But do you really want it? Do you really want it? Last week, I told you a Culture, good friend of mine, good guy, good person in the community. The fellowship. Some people don't like that word community. He kind of upset me. The obstinate side of me was like, "Hey, you want to make a video? I'll make a video." But that obstinance got me to speaking how I wanted to speak. Something I haven't been able to do in a while. The passion's been a problem. Had a lot of passion when I started this. This week's video is brought to you by Sparking News Podcast. Oddly enough. I mean, I was going to make a video anyway. But Scott is one of my best friends. Talk a lot of trash on him. And that's because that's just what we do. That's how we show love. He's another good dude. Probably one of the best people we got. And he really does care about the culture war. His friends, those he calls friend. And he has gone through too much to be by my side. And I will do the same for him any day. But he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to go through that. The energy of this is brought to you from my friend. The words are mine. This channel's mine. He said some things I'm not going to talk about here. They're personal. But the intent behind it was finish the book. Be yourself and finish the book. Be who you are. Which was echoed by my lady, Ashley Lynn, who has been a cheerleader and a wonderful confidant, advisor, person who understands aspects of this stuff we're doing that I've never understood. Do you really want this book? Do you really want me to finish this book? Because if I am to do it, I need to be me. Like, really be me. And being me is not caring what anybody thinks. It's been a big problem of mine. Something I never dealt with before. But I care. I've cared about everything that's happened since the beginning. Since before I got on YouTube and got involved. Since I was inspired by these people who were standing up and speaking out. In a culture war before they even realized it. Became friends with a couple of them for a little while. Still consider myself friends with a few. Yeah, I'd say that. Cared about it. Been passionate about what we're doing. Understood things as they have changed. Watch people grow. Come out of nowhere, just grow. There's a reason for that. And it isn't just clout chasing. You know? It's not just that. That may help. Or getting an honest boost or being adopted into a group or a lunch table or whatever that has people who are already established and have a lot of subs and stories. That helps. Yeah, absolutely, that helps. Absolutely. But one of the most important aspects that I think was overlooked and something I feel very passionate about is that second wave. what really was the Fandom Menace. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody who called themselves Fandom Menace, and I especially give props to that first group of YouTube. I especially give props to that first group of YouTubers, who kind of were all saying the same thing from different backgrounds and came together. I even give props to the one who, ever since one of them brought the name the Fandom Menace, now that I think of it, it's kind of funny because it was borrowed from someone else, from an earlier movement, much like an idea, and presented. It's meant something. It's the reason I started channels, reason many people did. Subscribers created channels. People got together in groups and started supporting, this thing. People were upset. A lot of people were upset. Star Wars is the focal point of what the Fandom Menace was when it started. And it will always be the focal point in my books, that franchise, but that woke idiot ideology, these people trying to condition society with horrible entertainments that are not focused on creativity and respecting lore, but on their woke principles that don't make any damn sense. And it's all garbage. It's low tier divisive rhetoric for low tier dumbass people. I give respect to those that definitely give respect to those that were the initial cluster. Just about none of which called themselves Fandom Menace at this point, I believe. Fandom Menace exists more today in the culture that was created by those that were inspired and began voicing dissent themselves that came after. And second wave, third wave, those people created something that stood against the idea that if you had a certain skin color or sexuality, that your voice was more important or should be elevated, or equity should be created, which is not equality. All our opinions mattered. All of our opinions matter. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter what your political stance is. It doesn't matter what group you exist in. All our opinions matter. We're all people. Your voice may be louder depending on your presence online or your fame or whatnot. The idea that we should all support and help one another. Be there for each other. Be real with each other. Be honest. Rising together. Being the opposite of what the far left is, of what the industry is, and I'm talking all entertainments. Because you got to throw Comicsgate in there too. Comicsgate taught Fandom Menace a lot. They were around before Fandom Menace. And that's another hashtag that, well, from what I understand, what it was supposed to be, just meant indie comics. Independent comic creators. A lot of the same values, same enemies. So to me, the Fandom Menace is not just this initial group of people that stood up and said Star Wars sucks. You know what? Star Trek sucks too. You know what? Doctor Who's got the same problem. Look at this entertainment. Look at that entertainment. Look how comics are being treated. Look at these characters that suck ass. Oh my God. Why are they doing this? The why. The far left. That ideology, as I said earlier, that the people that espouse it, most of them don't. They don't care. They don't care. Like, can you actually imagine being a person, an intelligent person, with common sense, with, you imagine that being your philosophy in life? That, white people are so racist and terrible that we need to speak up on the behalf of minorities because they're not equal. that in itself. We need to hire someone based solely on their sexuality or identification or race because that is not racist. That's not segregationist. That's not phobe. This is the ridiculousness of it. The ridiculousness of this culture war that we're in. It should not exist. Shouldn't exist after the 2000s. It just shouldn't. It's all about dividing people. It's all about creating division. Equity, labeling people, critical race theories, and all that crap. And we see it. We fought against it. That's why a lot of us are doing politics. Got a lot of conservatives around me. I never really knew a lot of conservatives. You know what? A lot of them are good people. I'll even throw the Christian conservatives in there. My traditional enemy from when I was a young pagan lad. People who came up after that culture that was created, the opposite. It was created in opposition to stand for freedom, independence, and the ability to choose the ability to live who you were, be who you were, to create without being accosted. Shout out to the old Comicsgate narrative, and people out there that still push, that still live it, and those who still believe in those principles, those Fandom Menace principles, that I loved all of it. I was behind all of it, the whole idea. Support independent creators. Be good to each other. Support one another. We rise together. Great ideas built on compassionate, loving souls, most of which are still with us. Some have left this world. It's been a difficult week for a lot of people because it affected those. I don't want to get into it because, I'm not trying to mine. I'm not trying to mine something like that because using something like that for popularity is wrong. Earlier this year, there was an event. A few events throughout the year, but there was one in particular that upset the hell out of me. I had a strong reaction to it that was not measured. And I have to say that I was surprised, very surprised, to see that there were very few people who openly took up for it. Me. Not just me. Not really just me, but why? The why. Something good was happening. We all didn't agree on it. It was full of energy. It was great. People that weren't behind it were happy for our friends because, the fans get to win one. Awesome. It was a good event. And then, the industry reared its head. I guess is the only way you can really say it. The industry reared its head and had to disavow or distance or whatever the hell it was. You know what I mean? And then talk about an event that had nothing to do with anything that was going on. because the narrative demanded it. The narrative against those who opposed the far left demanded it. And it was terrible and ugly and heartbreaking to see. And everybody knew what was going on, no matter how it was said. And it broke friends of mine, people that I respected. An opportunity was taken to step on my friend's neck for popularity, to use something like that for popularity. That's not what we're about. It's never been. I don't understand this. I don't own anybody's actions. That person, to be sure, was not was one of the initial members or whatever, founders, whatever. Wasn't a part of the group that came up after, people around me. I was on the ground floor. I was around all these different people, channels and younger channels, up and coming channels that had been building this idea month after month, stream after stream. This culture of people that was anti-far left. It wasn't political. It wasn't anti, this political stance, but the very idea that you garner strength through dividing people. We stand together. We rise together. Don't destroy each other. That's what the far left does. It's confusing for me. I was full of rage. Definitely something I could have handled just a little better, but I love this community, fellowship, whatever. That Fandom Menace Historian seal that I got came from someone who was around, at the beginning, in the chats, on social media from the beginning. Stephen Wayne Art. I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if he's still around. I think he had some fights with some people or something. I don't know. I don't care because that dude made the historian seal for me while he was going through chemo. He was facing death and made that for me. That means something. I don't care who's mad at who or what anybody thinks of anybody. That means something to me. And because of the culture that was created at that time, you have, to this day, I see people, newer people, up and coming, newer people that are being helped. You want me to help you edit? You want me to show you how to create a Twitch channel? You want to show me help you do this? You want to come on this live stream? Let's do a sub push for you. Get you to 200. Working with each other, networking, being good to each other, helping one another rise. Yeah, you can clout chase, you can kiss ass, use somebody as a springboard to get to someplace else and whatnot. And if you do it respectfully, there shouldn't be a problem. We rise together. Some friendships or associations only last so long. But that culture that was created then amongst us was carried and perpetuated by others and has grown so big. I don't know everybody that's connected to everybody. I haven't for a while. But every time I see it, it's a beautiful thing. It's positive. For someone who's had a little bit of a rough life like myself, I'm proud to have been a part of something that positive. So, that hurt me. Went against everything we stood for. It's been a long time since then. Well, not a very long time, just been long enough. The fallout from those events, the fallout from that event and the following events, was very difficult for me. What's kept me going is seeing that culture continue on. It puts a smile on my face, makes me feel good. Are y'all sure? Are you sure you want me to finish this book? Because Volume 2 is not just about a small group of YouTubers. It's not. It's not just about those voices. It's not just about the far left. It's not just about the beginning of this part of the culture war, that part of the culture war. It's not. It's not just about Star Wars. All those things definitely have a place. All of them have a place. And originally, within the context of how I plan to write out 3 of these books, or 2 of them, Volume 1 is more a background leading up to, that was the context. Now, as I watch people drop the hashtag, and I watch channels that begin to do their own thing or leave it behind and whatnot, that hurt. But I get it. It had its time. I have no problem documenting that because those people are still important to the message that was started. And some of them still promote the values that were perceived and adopted by those that came after, who collectively, as individuals, created the positive culture that we have. It's not just about them. It's not just about the industry. It's not just about the politics involved, the whys, the hows. It's not just that. It's not just Star Wars. It's about entertainment, but Star Wars is a focal point. I believe that another aspect of it is the culture of helping one another, the anti-woke culture that came from those that came after. And I mean, there's been people that have come and gone or come and been through or whatnot that haven't been the best, that haven't necessarily believed in those messages but used them as a vehicle. May not necessarily be the most real of people, but who's going to care about that? Who's going to care about who stabbed who fought with who? If somebody's reading this 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, who's going to care about that? Honestly, what does it add to what happened? The account of what happened? Nothing. Nothing, really. There's no point in talking about that. Nothing more than, mentioning a very, not mentioning, like a one line of the fact that there were, not all were genuine or something, something like that. It's not a chapter. It's not a story arc, The difficulty in this has been not anything minor. It's been a broken heart. It's been losing that passion. Not being able to be me because I lost faith. I lost faith. I lost faith in something that I saw as being beautiful for so long. The person who brought that borrowed name to us and presented it and we adopted it, claimed leadership. We didn't have any leaders. What? We're all leaders. We stand together as individuals. Some voices were louder than others. We don't have leaders. People outside of the menace would point at one person and go, that person's the leader. No. A lot of influence? Yes. Louder voice? Yes. Leader? No. We are all individuals. We are not a hive mind. So anybody that was still clinging on at that point, when a crown was claimed to be had, everybody said, nah, F this, and was out. Writing was on the wall anyway. That broke my heart. Same person couple months later talking trash on all Fandom Menace products. Like, weren't you just on your boy's channel? And didn't he just make a comic or something? I'm not. I get confused. I get confused. A lot of things happened since then, and then thought about quitting. Thought about quitting YouTube. Thought about leaving. Because I see around me philosophies of growth that I don't understand in the context of who I am, so maybe I'm at fault. I don't know. I like being real, genuine, right up the middle. Is there a certain degree of acting involved in what we do? I mean, sometimes, I guess, I try not to. I overextend some of my ego, maybe, probably, or, but being real, looking out for other people, being genuine, helping others to rise, all those, all opinions matter. Those things matter to me. Always had. And when I begin to understand that there are indeed people who believe that the only way to attain power, popularity, subs, fund their campaigns, whatever the case may be, the way to derive that power is by dividing others. Talking trash behind closed doors, trying to destroy their reputation, presenting false narratives, then putting it out through their networks or their version of the media to reinforce that narrative, to destroy that person. Threats, doxing, labeling, all that shit that happens from the far left, the stuff that we were standing up against. That happens here. That realization, why am I fighting? Why am I standing? Why am I helping? I'm not going to win. That's how I felt. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to rise. Why would I want to? If I have to kiss a ring or an ass or an ego, why do I want to rise if I have to give up what I feel has been best about what, in my small way, I've helped to build positive culture? I looked around me and I said, is this the industry? Is that what we did? Is that what we let happen? Is everybody fake? What's going on? I wanted to get out. Be done. Thankfully, I have some great friends. I have some wonderful people who help me through when I'm hurting. And then something happened. An event, not going to go over it, just happened recently. And I watched as people came together. Kind of felt it again. I've seen, I've gone around different live streams and I've seen people that are live streaming with each other or talking to each other, working with whatever, they ain't talked to each other in a long time. A long time. It's like a lot of people remember that spirit. That has had an effect on me. That and my best friend showing me something I didn't know, how much he cared about what we had been involved in. And we thought about it during that time. You know, there were people around who were, attempting to divide in order to attain influence and power. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want this book? Because I ain't kissing nobody's ass. I can't be scared of what anybody thinks. I can't be worried. It can't be personal. It can't be personal like that. It's going to come from a Fandom Menace perspective. So I'm definitely going to have a lean to it in the parts that I write. There's also other aspects of what happened that do not involve people who identified as Fandom Menace. And their voices are just as important, because some of those voices, some of those people added to the culture of helping one another, of the love for Star Wars and other things, other aspects of this, and then they deserve to be represented too. Some of them don't like certain people. Maybe me. But their voices, that aspect needs to be told as well. And I don't care. It's got to be done right. The story has to be told. An account has to be made of things that actually happened. That's how history books work. So, in doing this, I can't care who's friends with who, or any potential for guest spots, or I can't be mad at anybody really for anything, from personal to anything, with the exception of those idiots in the far left. I am fighting a culture war, and what they are trying to do to this country, to the world, is evil. First off, they don't care about people, and they're trying to make everything racist and hateful and segregated, and most of them don't even care about what they say, and they just, we watch the media, they control the media, and they press this one narrative, and then they destroy people's lives. They all don't really even care about this rhetoric they're pressing. They're just trying to make money, get donations from the, Soros and others, the globalist agenda and all that. I mean, it's a lot. But it's all built on being disingenuous, separating and dividing people, gaining power by dividing others and devaluing them. So if I'm going to be me, if I'm going to really be the historian, if I'm really going to be that, I can't care what anybody thinks. I know damn well I might lose people that called themselves my friend. I might get shut out. I'm definitely going to get... People definitely going to come after me. I mean, I've already been through that. That ain't nothing. Come and get it, bitches. There be rogues here. But that's just got to be what it's going to be. It's going to have to be that. You really want me to write this thing? You really want it? I believe that there is no need whatsoever for me to document any of these accounts of what has happened, the parallels between the fact that people who stood up and fought in a culture war against those who were destroying others were fooled by, excused, good people didn't stand up, others to be a part of this indie sphere who are just like the industry and don't really care about the values we hold, care about themselves, care about an advantage. That's it. Don't care who they got step on. Play games, make people hateful. Just to. It's got to be real. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it as fair as possible. As fair as I can. My job is to give an account of things that happened and allow the reader to decide for themselves how that history should be interpreted. And I honestly believe that if I tell an accurate enough account of the facts of the matter, that those actions will speak for themselves. Sorry, this was a long one. It's a sit down. It's a long conversation. Appreciate you if you've actually stayed this entire time. Hail my brothers and sisters out there. Be good to each other. And suffer no fools. Remember to stand for one another and be good to each other. Remember that all our voices matter, and it doesn't matter what skin tone you are, who you sleep with, or how you look at yourself. If you're genuine, if you're good person, then any advantages that you get as you try to grow or do whatever you do in life, those advantages should come from being a genuinely good person, an honest and fair, compassionate person. Those advantages should not come from dividing people, creating hate networks, destroying other people's names, stealing their ideas, and then threatening them, sequestering them. You shouldn't rise from being a liar, destroying people's reputations and stabbing them. It should be on the merit of who you are, the merit of your character, not your ability to maneuver and control. That's how I believe. Maybe I'm naive. Probably. But I love y'all. Please be good to each other. Reach out to a loved one, especially this time of year. Be good to each other. Peace.